Hi, this is Carrie Chambers, and this is my screen recorded Poplet for Chapter 5, talking about strengths and strategies for online teaching. I gave my Poplet a cat theme to show my personality a little. Most people that know me know that I am a big cat lady. So, I am supposed to apply the vocal method, talk about other strategies I'm going to use, and then talk about what I think my strengths are as an online instructor. So as a play on the vocal method, I have a little video of a very vocal cat. Alright, so vocal cat. The first part of vocal is being visible, and that's important so that students know who you are and want to interact with you. I would make sure that I'm visible through email with students, emailing them early and often, interacting on forums with them. I probably won't respond to every post, but I like the idea of a summary post from the instructor at the end of the topic. Making sure I give feedback often and timely, and I really liked in the reading the use of videos that I would record after modules or after a week or something to give feedback about what we've already done and to clarify what's coming up so that the student is able to connect with me a little bit and really understands what it is I'm expecting of them. The next part is being organized. I think that's probably my biggest strength as an instructor, or even in my position in student activities. I keep myself very organized, and I really like using programs online to stay organized. So to stay organized and keep the class organized, I want to effectively use Nika. So minimize the number of tabs and tools that I have open for students to see so that they're only seeing things that they need and nothing extra, so they know what it is that they need to use. I plan to have clearly organized modules that will be ADA compliant, especially in terms of using colors and bold text, underlined text to clarify different sections and titles and things like that. And I definitely plan to have regularly scheduled due dates. Just like the students that I'll be teaching, I also have a full-time job, and so this will help them stay organized as well as help me stay organized. The C is compassionate. To be compassionate, I want to make sure that I understand there are different learning styles and different abilities that I'll have in my class. So I plan to offer options to the students to complete assignments. So maybe they like video, maybe they like reading articles, maybe they like taking self-assessments and writing about themselves. And they can choose which ones they do to meet their learning style while still achieving the objectives of the module. I want to make sure I keep in mind life problems that come up for students. However, I want to make sure that I'm consistent and stick within the policies that I have set for the class. And I want to make sure the tone of my communication with them is compassionate and is warm. I do tend to be very professional in the tone of my electronic communication. I still want to be professional, but I want to try to sound more approachable online. The A is to be analytical, and in order to do that, I want to make sure I give them timely feedback, clear expectations by creating rubrics for the assignment so they know exactly how they're going to be graded, and they can see where they lost points and where they earned points. Make sure that my syllabus is detailed and effective. I don't want it to contain too much information that it's not read, but I want it to address everything important to the class. And again, I want to be consistent and fair with all of the policies I set forth, whether it's to do with when assignments are turned in, how I'm going to grade, anything like that. If I'm going to do something for one student, I want to make sure I'd be willing to do it for another. And the L is to be a leader by example. I plan to model forum postings and emails, so especially with the introductory post, if that's something I do, I would also introduce myself so they could see what I'm looking for in a post. And in my emails, make sure that I am emailing them in a way that I want them to email me, and make sure I have appropriate response time for students. When it comes to grading emails, anything like that, make sure that they know that I am not on 24 hours a day, but I will always try to respond to them within 24 hours. So, that is the vocal method. Some other strategies that I will use. One will be to, and I got a lot of this from the reading, one will be to actively monitor student progress. So I want to contact students that are not participating. I know right now in my current course it's face-to-face, I have students post in forums, and I have a couple students that I know well that have not been keeping up with that. And so I need to go ahead and talk to them and see why they're not keeping up with it. And with my online class, I need to make sure that I'm really monitoring that, because I won't have that face-to-face with them too. And then I want to monitor the forums, make sure people are posting appropriately, understanding the material, and then give overall feedback to them. If they are not understanding the material and posting incorrect stuff, I want to make sure they understand what it is that they got, that they misunderstood, and how they can understand it better. I definitely want to use icebreakers. I liked a lot of the icebreakers that I saw. I posted in the forums about using the beach ball icebreakers. That's something that I use in my class and that I use at orientation. So the beach ball icebreaker would have them use a random number generator and answer a question. I liked that a lot, to help students really get to know each other's personality. I just saw in a video for the training, an instructor had students create Pinterest boards to show their personality. I think that would be a really cool thing for students to do. I think I'd need to give them some more guidance other than just create a board to show your personality, tell them what kinds of things they should be putting on it. And then just definitely I want to have some kind of introduction forum of some sort, whether it's the Pinterest or the beach ball something. And then finally, for strategies, I want to make sure I am communicating early and ongoing. So I read in one of the readings or saw in a video to email the syllabus about a week before class starts, so students know what it is they're getting into and can ask you questions. I liked that idea a lot. Again, I like the idea of instructor videos that I don't create before the start of class, that I create in response to things that students are posting, work that they're turning in. I like the use of announcements for reminders and feedback. I already use announcements on Nika, and I like that because it stores it within the site, and with our system, when you post an announcement, you already have the option of emailing it to the student as well. And then finally, I don't use the Nika calendar in my face-to-face class, but I think it would be important to use in my online class. I would want to look into it and see if they can sync it with their Google Calendar. If not, possibly creating a Google Calendar for the class that they can sync with their own Google Calendar. Alright, so those are the strategies that I'll use. So the strengths that I think I already have. Like I said, I'm organized. As a communication scholar, I know and I teach my students that the goal of all communication, regardless of the type, regardless of the topic, is to achieve mutual understanding between you and the people you're communicating with. And I think that's the great thing about online classes is that everything is central and organized, and it makes it everything so clear so that that mutual understanding is a lot easier to achieve. I am pretty tech savvy. I don't feel confident that I could teach people a lot. I learn how to do stuff mostly by just trying it out myself. This example is student life video. I create one every year for orientation. And I made this in Microsoft Movie Maker, and I just learned that by playing around with it. Okay.
It's just a good place overall. I really don't. Instructors are fantastic. Small class sizes, really intimate settings. Fantastic. I've had a great experience here. It's just a good place overall. I really don't have any negatives. See everybody and everybody complaining. I can still work full time and
Okay, that doesn't want to play that well, but I made that using Movie Maker, and we showed that at orientation. It includes text and pictures and music as well. Another strength I think I have is that I'm committed to learning. So, committing to learning myself, learning more about how to teach online, and learning new things, new methods to teach my class, and I'm committed to the learning of my students. I really think that this material is important and can help them in their lives, and I really want them to understand that and to internalize that, which leads me to that I am passionate about the material. I love teaching about interpersonal relationships. I think that I still learn from the material when I teach it and apply it to situations in my own life. And I have the ability to adapt. I think that comes from working with students so much. They're unpredictable, and I've been pretty successful with adapting to situations when things don't go the way I expect them to go. So that was my Poplet. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.